I'll take you guys back to the Olympics last year with one particular story dominating the headlines, and that was of Algerian male boxer Imane Khelif being able to compete in the female category in boxing of the Olympics. Because there's one thing that we know for certain: the radical leftists love to tell us all, they love to virtue signal, don't be hateful, but yet, in one instance, they will say, violence against women, we say definitely no, but we'll allow a biological man that identifies as being a woman to beat up the likes of women, and we'll call that progress. That's exactly what the IOC were doing, because if on Imane Khelif's passport says female, we'll allow Imane Khelif to box with females, and that's exactly what happened. And as we know, Imane Khelif took out gold, went back as an actual hero. The controversial nature of this story went absolutely wild. Loads of people, including loads of females, were saying that Imane Khelif is a hero, including Jamil Hill. A lot of people need to apologize. I hope Imane Khelif sues some people over their reckless remarks. All this story did was expose ugliness, hatred, and transphobia, even though these people were saying that Imane Khelif is not trans. So how can something that's not anything to do with trans evoke transphobia? Well, it's nothing to do with transphobia, ladies and gentlemen, which, by the way, doesn't even exist in the first place. So, as Karini admitted here, she quit because she was upset. She was going to get her ass whooped, and other folks turned it into something else. And I hope that Jamil Hill apologizes, because now the truth has finally come out. The truth has finally been revealed. A medical report leaked that proves Imane Khelif is biologically male. A test results published online which debunk IOC stance on controversial Olympic champion. This is from the Telegraph. And ladies and gentlemen, as Michaela Peterson goes, shocker. Riley Gaines also goes, to all the people that insisted Imane Khelif was a woman because his passport said so, you were wrong. We were right. And I was right. I was saying the entire time that Imane Khelif is a dude. Why didn't anyone listen? Oh, wait. A vast amount of people did listen, but loads of other people were going after me and saying, you're lying. This is not true. But, ladies and gentlemen, the truth always comes to light. Sal Grover goes, well, this aged well. Human Rights Watch that said the outpouring of vitriol against Lin Yu Ting and Imane Khelif in the Paris Olympic boxing competition shows the immense harms sex testing policies cause. The International Olympic Committee is right to stand against this form of testing. So if you're so afraid to be called a female or male, why don't you just do an easy test? Oh, we don't need to do a test to prove nothing. We'll just say it. We'll say that you're a female and go along with that. So what have you got to hide? Wouldn't it just be easier to prove to everyone that you are indeed a female by taking a very simple test? It's not hard. But usually when people don't want to do something like this, it means they've definitely got something to hide. Sal Grover responds to Human Rights Watch as well. Not only did she say this aged well, all you had to do was, one, open your eyes and look at him to know he is a man. Riley Gaines responds to Jamil Hill, we'll be waiting for your apology to Angela Carini, a woman who was punched in the face by a male who intended to knock her unconscious while the world watched, then labeled a coward by people like you for standing up against it. Amazing how a woman is standing up for not a woman, but a man that beat a woman in the face. What's going on exactly with the world? Why is it that women are more inclined to defend men, but yet they'll complain about the so-called patriarchy? Well, love, I hate to break it to you, but you are actually supporting the so-called patriarchy by defending a man that is a biological dude, like that beat up a woman. What you should have been doing is go, this ain't right that a man is competing against women in a boxing ring. Now, the Piers Morgan, as we know, who just jumps on the bandwagon when it suits him, jumped on this bandwagon once again and said, because as we know, I was reporting on it the entire time, and sometimes Piers would obviously talk about it and get a lot of traction over on his show because he created a lot of drama with people just going at it, saying that Imane Khelif is the female, and the other side were going, no, Imane Khelif is a male, and here's the drama. He goes, the biology denying woke brigade abused and shamed me for saying it was outrageous and dangerous for Khelif to be beating up women at the Olympics. I'm ready for their apology, but won't hold my breath. I don't think you're going to get an apology, Piers. I really don't. We knew this to be true. It's probably the one thing, because it's blatantly obvious, to be honest. I don't think I'm going to get an apology at all. So I'm not really looking for one either. I don't really care as long as the truth gets out there. But anyway, Sharon Davies goes, look what this vile, uneducated woman wrote last summer. Then remember how she obviously feels about the fair and safe rights of other women. Sarah Salterman, MP, if you come for the Queen, you bet not miss. Talking about Imane Khelif beating not just one woman, ladies and gentlemen, but however many women he beat up in the ring. So does that mean that Imane Khelif is going to be stripped of his Olympic medal because he's not actually a woman and should not have been competing against women? Or does the Olympic Committee just go, yeah, it's allowed, we'll let it slide? I personally think, now that the news has come out that Imane Khelif is a dude, that the right thing should actually be done, that he's stripped of his medal and he's shamed for beating up the likes of women. Because what does that say about us as a society if we allow a man to beat up women? What does that say to us? You're sending a very, very dangerous and harsh message, man, especially the Olympic Committee. Oh, but this happened last year at the Olympics. We shouldn't be worried too much about it. No, we should do something about it right now, because the truth has come to light. And as a result, Imane Khelif needs to be punished for lying and entering into the ring and beating up the likes of women. That's what's fair, right? What about the women that had to face him? What about them? Do you think they're smiling? I think all of the women that faced Imane Khelif in the ring need to all band together and demand that his medal be stripped from him. So it's fair, because he's not a woman, and yet he versed women in the Olympic division. It's wrong. But I guess I won't be holding my breath that anything will be done about this, but one can only hope, right? Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.